What's up guys, Random Razor here with another tech video to share with you guys today. And today we are going to check out Nomad's entire lineup of cases for the all new iPhone 17 lineup. So of course, without further ado, let's unbox these cases, check each of them out, and give you guys my quick in-depth review. So the first case that we're going to check out here is the Nomad traditional leather case. This one here is in black. All Nomad cases come in this very simple recyclable cardboard packaging. To pop it open, there's a loop on the top here. You just grab, it slides out like so. The first and only thing that we get here, of course, is the case itself. And taking a closer look at the traditional leather case, I have to say this is probably the closest case I've reviewed to date to the Apple leather case that Apple discontinued back in, I think, 2 years ago. Take a look at the interior part of this case here. You can see we have this very nice soft microfiber lined material to protect the back of your iPhone. The Nomad logo engraved in the center. You can see it is MagSafe compatible. You can see on the side of the case here, the leather does wrap around the entire sides, over the top bezel, and into the interior part of this case, just like the Apple leather case. And you can also see the button covers on the inside part of the case here are separate from the rest of the case. So we'll grab my iPhone 17 Pro Max. In this case here, we'll go volume button side first, and it just slides into place. All right, so taking a quick overview of this case, starting off with the top here, we do have an excellent amount of top protection with the case to wrap around the entire border of the iPhone, and just above my glass screen protector by a little bit. Moving towards the sides, we do have covers for the volume rockers, the smart button. They do feel like actual buttons, very nice tactile feedback, easy to press. Same thing with the power button on the other side here, and there's also a cover for the camera button as well. We'll do a quick test of the camera button here. Very responsive, no issues there. On the bottom of the case, we do have 3 individual cutouts for the stereo speakers, mic, and USB-C port. Last thing on the side is the Nomad logo engraved right on the bottom corner. Lastly, on the back side here, we do have that leather that wraps around the entire back, sides, and inner portions of the case that I showed you guys earlier. Is a gorgeous black, full grain, genuine leather material. This one isn't the Horween Leather. I'll show you guys some of those examples in these other cases here. This is more of a traditional leather, so it kind of maintains that clean look versus that patina effect that Horween Leather has. And there is, of course, a precision cutout for the camera lens module, as well as this metal ring that protects the entire edges of the camera module as well. It is compatible with my tempered glass screen protector that I have on my camera lens in addition to that, so no issues there either. Almost forgot to show you guys, yes, this case is MagSafe compatible. Overall guys, the Nomad traditional leather case is certainly one of my favorites of this entire bunch of Nomad cases. Again, one of the main reasons is because this is the closest thing I've reviewed so far to Apple's own leather case that they discontinued a couple years ago, minus the Apple logo of course, but still offers a very nice, clean, luxurious leather look. In terms of any cons with this case, I do kind of wish the borders here were a little bit taller, just by maybe a couple millimeters. But other than that, everything else about this case is pretty spot on. The craftsmanship is excellent. Love the smell and look of this genuine leather material. And I think Nomad has done an excellent job with their traditional leather case. And that is the Nomad traditional leather case. Next up, we're going to check out the Nomad modern leather case. We have 2 different colors here, a traditional brown as well as this limited edition burgundy color. So the modern case is basically, like the name says, a bit more of a modern version of the traditional leather case. The modern case is very similar in that it does have a leather back. However, it does have improved sides thanks to the TPU bumper that offers up to 8 feet of drop protection. So let's pop this out. So the first thing that we have here is the case. And a very nice, gorgeous brown leather. And we'll also take a look at the burgundy model as well. This is a limited edition run, so if you really like this color, you can check it out in the description below there. So the modern leather case, the main difference between the modern leather case and the traditional one that I first showed you guys is mainly with the sides. So the modern case features an upgraded TPU bumper that provides up to 8 feet of drop protection. So performance-wise, it does offer better drop protection than the traditional leather case. Now, although you lose that leather wrapped look to it, where it wraps around the entire sides and the front, like the traditional leather case, the modern case does feature better performance in that it provides better draw protection. So there is a trade-off, but a positive one. Now, both these examples here does feature NOMAD's upgraded Horween Leather. Horween Leather is a very nice premium leather in that it is left mostly untreated, so retains a lot of its natural look as well as its durability. And the biggest thing with Horween Leather is it's designed to wear and tear and to develop a patina effect. So what exactly is patina? Well, basically, here is an extreme example. This is the NOMAD wallet that I reviewed probably about 10 years ago. It used Horween Leather, and you can see over time it develops kind of this sheen to it, as well as all these little marks and scratches from just everyday use. Now, granted, not everyone's going to be a big fan of this look or design, but the biggest thing for me is that the leather itself has remained intact, it's durable, nothing has ripped apart. And the same thing I'm sure could be applied to the iPhone cases, as these use the exact same leather as the NOMAD wallet case I reviewed 10 years ago. So unlike a normal leather case, Horween Leather is designed to wear and tear over time so that it develops this very unique patina look. So this is what it looks like brand new, but over time, yeah, it's gonna get a few scratches and marks here and there, but that's a good thing because that's what this leather is designed to look and feel. Now, if you're not a fan of this Horween Leather and how it wears and tears over time, you can opt for NOMAD's full grain leather, which they do offer as an option for those of you who want something a little bit more traditional and resistant to marks and scratches. So back to the modern case itself, you can see on the inside here, it's lined with this very nice, super soft microfiber lined material. You can also see on the inside, these are separate button covers, which is nice. So they should feel like actual buttons, just like the first case. All right, so we'll grab my iPhone 17 Pro Max here to demonstrate. We'll store it on the burgundy model, something a little bit different. It's a very simple snap-on style case. I usually go volume button side first, and it should just snap into place. All right, so taking a quick overview of this case, starting off with the top here, you can see no issues with compatibility with my tempered glass screen protector. The TPU bumper does wrap around the entire border of the iPhone, as well as a bit of the bezel portion. On the side of the case here, we do have covers for the power button. You can also see these little grooves in the cover for added grip, a cover for the smart camera button. On the other side here, we do have covers for the volume buttons, as well as the smart button. And all these button covers do feel like actual buttons. Very nice tactile feedback and requires very little pressure to actuate. Moving downward, we have the NOMAD logo engraved on the side, as well as 3 individual cutouts for the stereo speakers, mic, and USB-C port. Lastly, on the back side here, of course, is the highlighted feature of the modern leather case, in that the leather does wrap around the entire back of the case, as well as a little bit of the bezel border. There's also a precision cutout for the camera lens module, a protective bumper around the module, and looks like there's no issues with compatibility with my tempered glass screen protector that I have on my camera lens module. And a couple last things to note is that the leather does sit nice and flush with the TPU bumper, which I kind of like. And in terms of MagSafe compatibility, you can see here, no issues whatsoever. Overall, the modern leather case is a great choice for those of you who want the traditional leather case, but with better draw protection thanks to this thick TPU bumper. In terms of any cons or things I don't like about the modern leather case, I will say that the sides here, because they have this kind of super soft matte finish, is a little bit slippery in the hand, doesn't provide a whole lot of extra grip. And the only other thing I can mention is that I do wish the TPU bumper here would extend a little bit more above my glass display. You can see it's almost just flush with my glass screen protector. And that is the modern leather case for the iPhone 17 lineup. All right, let's pop off the modern leather case, which is very easy to take off, which you can see here. And now we're going to check out this one here, the rugged leather case for the new iPhone. So this is basically a beefed up version of the modern leather case, in that instead of 8 feet of jaw protection, this case is rated at 15 feet of jaw protection. All right, so sliding this one out here, you can see why this one offers more jaw protection. It's got quite a bit thicker TPU sides. And just like the other cases, the rugged case is no exception in featuring the super soft microfiber lined material. You can also see the thickness on the camera cutout here, as well as the sides, in that this is quite a bit of a beefier case than the modern leather case. So I'll grab my iPhone 17 Pro Max. Let's see how easily this one fits. Pretty simple snap-on style case, I like that. Let's take a quick overview of the rugged leather case. You can see on the top here, the TPU material does wrap around the entire border of the iPhone. Again, it is quite a bit thicker than the modern leather case. Also sticks above my glass screen protector a little bit more, which I do like. On the sides here, we do have covers for the power button, the smart camera button, and on the other side here, covers for the volume rockers as well as the smart button. All have a very nice tactile feedback, very easy to press, and doesn't require a whole lot of pressure to actuate. Small little detail, but you can see the sides here does have a slight little curve to it. And at first you wouldn't think it does much, but it actually provides a little bit of more grip because of the thicker sides. Unlike the modern case, which does have that too, for some reason having the thicker sides makes this indentation give you a little bit better grip. Small little detail I know, but something I want to mention. On the bottom of the case here, we do have 3 individual cutouts for the stereo speakers, mic, and USB-C port. Moving on to the back side here, we do have a precision cutout for the camera lens module, the Horween Leather that's kind of stamped on the back. And also like these raised bumpers on the corners here, so that when you place your phone down, it sort of protects the leather from making contact with the surface of the table. Overall guys, I do like this rugged case. It definitely feels like a slightly beefier case than the modern leather case that I mentioned several times now. But I like it a little bit more just because it does offer more jaw protection. It also has better bezel protection as well, since it raises above my tempered glass screen protector a little bit more than the modern leather case. Here's a quick size comparison with the thickness. You can see the rugged case is obviously a little bit thicker than the modern leather case, but not by a whole lot, to the point where you can rock this case in your pocket, holding it, or whatever you're doing with your iPhone, that it's not going to feel like a total brick in your hand. And I almost forgot, even though it's such a thick case, we do have MagSafe compatibility. And that is the rugged leather case from NOMAD. Moving on, we have something a little bit more unique, and that is the modern leather folio case. So this is basically like the modern case, except it has a very nice folio flap. So take a closer look at this case before we slap the iPhone in. Oh, there's a removable magnetic lock. That's pretty nice. All right, so I'll show you guys very shortly. But yeah, you can see here it's pretty much identical to the modern case, in that the main difference is that it does have this additional folio flap on it. But the cool thing about this is that it's still a single piece of leather. So this wraps around the entire forward flap, as well as the sides, and all the way to the back. All right, so I'm gonna put this metal clasp on. I kind of like the idea where it's optional. You know, not everybody really cares for an additional locking mechanism, as this can pretty much close on its own. But if you want that, you do have that option. So it kind of slides into this little slot here. So once you got it in, basically it just provides a bit of a locking mechanism for the front folio flap. All right, so let's put the iPhone in. So pretty much identical experience to the modern leather case. Pops in very easily. And we're all set to go. All right, take a quick overview of this case, starting off with the front folio flap here. This is the best case to have out of this entire lineup for front protection for obvious reasons. You got this big leather wrapped flap to protect the tempered glass screen of your iPhone on top of my screen protector as well, so that's double the protection. The flap itself also has this very nice high quality stitching that goes around the entire border around the flap. Take a look at the interior portion of the flap. We got the NOMAD logo engraved on the bottom, on top of the Horween Leather logo engraved as well. There's 3 card slots, so if you want something to have with you that's quick access, like your ID, bus pass or something, this is a great place to store it since you have your phone with you all the time. And there's also this additional sleeve behind all this with this very nice super soft microfiber material. The rest of the case here is going to be pretty familiar. We got the TPU bumper that wraps around the entire border of the iPhone. All your button covers are in place. And of course on the back side here, we got that nice Horween leather material that wraps around the entire back and a little bit of the bezel portion as well. And that is the modern leather folio case. Second last case that we have here is the NOMAD modern case. So this is pretty much identical to the leather modern cases I just showed you guys. However, the biggest difference is that this one doesn't have leather. So if you don't care for leather and you want something a little bit more, I guess, traditional, this certainly is an option. So the standard modern case comes in a variety of different colors. This one here is a nice bright lime green. I mean, it's a great choice if you want something that kind of sticks out, like if you're doing a lot of exercising, you go out for runs at night, then this is something that will certainly provide better visibility. So this pretty much shares all the same qualities as the leather modern cases. You got the microfiber interior, separate button covers, TPU bumper. The biggest difference is that this just features a standard polycarbonate back with this very nice matte finish. So as I would expect, this is a very simple snap-on style case, just like the leather modern case that I showed you guys. So overall, it's a nice choice if you don't care for leather, like I mentioned. In terms of if it feels any different or anything like that compared to the leather modern case, the plastic on the back here, it does have a slicker finish to it because it's matte. So it does have kind of a slick feel to it. Not a very grippy case by any means, which I would say is a bit of a downside. But that being said, between this case and the leather options for the modern case, honestly, I would spend the extra money for the leather just because it looks a little bit nicer and doesn't feel as slick as this matte finish. That being said, I do like how NOMAD chose a matte finish versus glossy, as this will be a lot more scratch resistant. And that is the NOMAD modern case. Now the last case that I have to show you guys here actually isn't a case, it's a magnetic leather back. So let's check this out. Here it is. So this is the NOMAD leather back. It's basically the NOMAD modern case or the traditional leather case minus the sides. So you got this very nice microfiber lined material as well as this nice Horween leather backing and some protection around the camera lens module. So let's see how this thing is going to go on. So basically it sticks on with magnets, which is pretty nice, the MagSafe. And yeah, I never reviewed something like this before, but it's basically a case minus the sides. Now, is this something that I would personally rock? Probably not, just because if I'm going to spend this amount of money and effort to put this on the iPhone, I may as well spend the extra money on an actual full-size case for better protection. But again, for those of you who like to rock your iPhone without any case on it, but you still want to change the back, you don't want to make it feel too much thicker or anything like that, then I suppose the magnetic leather back is certainly an interesting option. In conclusion, guys, that pretty much concludes this comparison and review of NOMAD's entire lineup of cases for the brand new iPhone 17, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max. Now, I've been reviewing NOMAD's cases since the iPhone 6, which I think was almost 10 years ago now, which is pretty crazy. But what really drawn me to NOMAD is that they make one of the better, nicer looking leather cases. Usually when you think of leather cases, you think of something chunky and bulky and ugly looking. But NOMAD proved here that you can develop a modern case and combine it with that traditional leather look. Now back then, NOMAD had maybe 1 or 2 different cases, but for 2025, you can see they do have a full range of different options to choose from that hopefully suit to your liking. For those of you wondering if I have a favorite, well, my favorite has to be the modern leather case in brown or black, just because it combines the drop protection performance of a modern case with that classic traditional leather styling. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions or comments about NOMAD's lineup of iPhone cases for the brand new 17 series, let me know in the comment section there down below. Hit that like button as always helps me out, and I'll see you all in the next video.